We happen to breed the clam. There's orange, there's green. If you can take care of a mixed reef, or of course an SPS, you can take care of a clam. I got to meet the clam burglar finally.
All right, hey guys, we're here at Aquashella 2025 with John Bui and Clam Mania. A lot of you guys don't really know me that well, but there was a time in my fish keeping career that people called me the clam burglar.
Wow.
Because I love clams so much.
Oh, wow.
So here at Clam Mania, John specializes in clams from all over the world. John, let's talk a little bit of clams and where they come from, some of your favorites, and let's take a look and see what he's got.
A lot of clams come from the South Pacific in warm waters like Australia, Palau, Tahiti, Japan, lots of different areas like that, Malaysia. We happen to breed the clams, so for us it's it's a passion I've been doing since 2012. We had an article written by Jake Adams.
Yep, I remember.
Remember that one?
Yep.
Yeah, so I've been doing that for a while, so I've been chasing that for a long time. In 2012 we started, and then about a few years after that I started doing the breeding in Tahiti over there.
So how often do you go over there?
Oh, I used to. I used to go there a lot more when we used to do the breeding in Tahiti and practicing and starting, like learning from there and then doing the breeding there. About 3 times a year we used to go there. So it'd be me for about a month or 2 weeks at a time, flying back and forth. And then from there we decided to be a lot easier just do in-house in California.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, do you have a favorite?
Clam?
Yeah.
Oh, I love crucias. We brought a lot of crucias.
Yeah, I see that. I love those too, but one of my favorites is, just the Durasa. I love the good old Durasa clam. Gigas, Crocias are beautiful.
No,
the Maximas as well. You are Clam Mania, so.
Yeah, I know why he loves the Durasa. There's a lot of, like Durasas are one of my favorites too.
Yeah.
They're big, but as they get bigger, the colors become even more bold.
They're beautiful.
Bold,
and
then
a
the
lot
extension.
of the rims of them are just beautiful.
They actually come in a lot of like different colors. People think it's just like a plain brown or something like that. There's orange, there's green.
As they grow, they mature, and just as you have, you've matured and you're more and more beautiful every day. So.
It's a very true thing.
Yeah.
Because like the clams, like we'll see like some of the crucias, I might see no markings. We say like one blue color or all brown. But it's like same thing I described to my clients. It's the exact same thing. It's like watching a little girl, little boy grow up. As a little kid, you kind of know what they'll look like, the color, things like that. But as they get older, the teenage years, and all of a sudden I'll see like little spots, little teardrops that I've never seen before. Now, I might be breeding for teardrops, but maybe nothing comes out. Mm-hmm. But over time, teardrops come out, a little extra line comes out. So some of the clams, over time, you'll see it blossom.
So let's talk about this timeline a little bit.
Yeah.
So as you're breeding these clams, what's the timeline for you to introduce them to the aquarium hobby?
The market, usually around 2.5 to 3.5 years, sometimes longer. We have a lot of clams, so from there I get to pick and choose which ones we're going to bring out. Yeah, usually they're about 1.5 inches to sometimes 3.5 inches before I even bring them out. Depends what kind. But yeah, usually around 2.5 to 3.5 years before you can get from sperm and egg to market. And believe it or not, there's like, if I get like a 1 or 2%, sometimes lucky, 4% success rate from all the clams is an amazing feat. So there's a lot of work that gets you to that market size.
So, is there anything you want to let people know about the care of these animals?
Majority of them are very easy. It's like if you have a mixed reef, if you can take care of a mixed reef or, of course, an SPS, you can take care of a clam. And it's just lighting and natural seawater. So the main thing is if you can change water or maintain natural seawater, right, with Fritz product or, a good salt like that, you're good. It's that simple. Maintaining that natural parameter, natural seawater, and just changing it once in a while, you're done. And then the PAR level's at 200. For most clams, in general, whether it's a Squamosa, Durasa, Crocea, Maxima, if you hit that 200 mark, it should satisfy all of them.
Perfect.
That's
some good tips to know.
That's a great tip. And then all of them, if you can't hit that, some of them can do more. Like Durasa, why most people think they're so easy is because they can take 70 PAR. We put them in system 70 PAR and they'll last forever. We put them in system with 450 PAR, still fine. So that's why people think, oh, Durasa's the easiest. I would consider the second easiest.
Not necessarily.
Yes. You have experience with that?
Oh, with Durasas?
Oh no, not necessarily. I want to make sure he gets his input.
Yes and no. Like I do have a pretty specific way that I stack things in my reef aquarium,
okay.
And I try to mimic what I see in nature.
Okay.
So more, bottom, and just maybe one rock higher.
Yeah, so a little more cars.
Yeah,
like
just a hair.
Yeah.
But I try to stick in the 300 and under range.
Works.
So that's
perfect.
my personal opinion.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
we all have
no.
different personal opinions. John's the expert on this.
Yeah, no.
So
no, it's good to always find out, because what happens is, like, you do a survey of what people do, and you see it's not just your information, but everybody else's combined information.
Right.
You see it's always in that number. That 70 to 450, Durasas can tolerate that. Crasias, if you do one below 150, it doesn't like it too lower than that.
Okay.
Maximas are like 150 to like 250.
Perfect.
They don't like it too high. So it's all based on where the depths are there, where they're at naturally in the sea.
So what about flow? Where do you want to be at on flow with these guys?
Ideally, on most of the clams, I would say medium to high flow. Of course, they can take low flow too, but most of them ideally would be much healthier, happier on medium to high flow.
So more or less, these guys are more meant for SPS and mixed reef tanks where the flow's a little higher.
But you can do a softy tank if you want. You can do a Crasia on the upper part. On a softy tank, be fine, or a Durasa in the lower part is still be fine. It's like saying, is 2,500 calories better than 1,800 calories? 25 can give you a little more, a little more better, but 18 is still good enough.
Right.
Is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
So clams for all kinds.
Here's some squamosas, as you can see. They come in different patterns, and these guys are a pretty good size, 4.5 to 5 inches. But I'll let you know that, our breeders are like 24 inches, and the breeders are basically, as far as this system, about this far, this high, and about this wide. That's how big these guys, the squamosas, get. Pretty big. And Durasas are around the same size too. So it's great to see like this size, which is really big for the industry. If you're getting from a fish store, especially if they're captive bred, because we breed these guys, so it takes a lot of space to house all these clams. That's the thing. These Crasias and squamosas are about the same age. Actually, no, the squamosas is a little younger than the Crasias, but you see the size difference.
Yeah.
And the variations of the Crasias, we bred all the neon colors in. So, over time, we were able to get plain blue to make it look popping neon. I don't know if the camera can really pick it up, but it's really neon.
Yeah, it pops for sure.
Right?
That's not something you see every day.
Yeah, and then we have some versions that will turn rainbow. These small little ones with the little orange dots and orange markings. If you move over here slowly, there's a lot more orange in there.
Yep.
And I call those rainbows because we're able to get that. And it took a long time to breed that. The only issue with breeding is I can't remake that. So my next version is the first one you just saw that when they're smaller. So meaning that the next version won't look like this anymore. So there's no guarantee I can make more of this. That's probably breeding, is that I might mix 2 rainbows and I will get a brown one by
Okay.
or lots of brown ones.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So yeah. And here's a Durasa that also gets really big. So this is a Durasa, and it also gets as big as I described the squamosa, that almost 2 foot mark, and 60 pounds, 70 pounds, pretty heavy. And the Geigas, we do have, our biggest one is close to 3 feet right now, but they get to 4.5 feet.
Well.
And about 600 pounds. Yeah. So it's kind of, there are called giant clams for a reason, because they do get giant like the Geigas, and they're the only clams in the world that are photosynthetic.
Well, more good information.
Yeah,
Love it.
That's why they get so big.
John, where can people find you at?
They can find me usually at trade shows.
Okay.
If you want to say hi to me in real life. Or, of course, you can see me at clammania.com.
Okay.
Which is where you can purchase some of the items. My big thing is that you don't have to purchase from me. I want you to learn from me. But make sure you get a healthy product. Know what you're going to get yourself into. Have the right setup for it. And if you don't, watch more videos to get the knowledge. The knowledge is key. And once you get that, you can have a very happy, successful
We love the
experience.
education, we love the knowledge, and there's nobody more knowledgeable about clams than John Bui. So check him out, check out Clam Mania, and thanks for joining us here at Aquashella, guys.
I got to meet the clam burglar friend finally.